Hi, I'm Earl Rector. Enough about me. Well, good morning and welcome back. It's another beautiful day here in Oklahoma. Surprisingly, it's about 72 degrees, on its way up to about 100 today, and for the remainder of this week I think it's supposed to stay over 100 degrees. So just will make things a little bit more challenging, but we can handle it. Anyway, we're out here in Salem, Oklahoma today, and we've got a few days that we're going to be spending out here providing more access for the client and his property through some trails. And we're also going to clear out a couple of areas for possibly some future food plots. So let's get started. So as I'm making my way to the area where I'll be starting this morning, I'm coming across an area that I cleared, I don't know, probably 2 months ago or so for this same client. And I just wanted to quickly show you this area after 2 months. And it looked very much like this when I started, but this will be a food plot for this client, and there were some larger trees in this field that I cut down and kind of stacked over here to be dealt with later by the client as they see fit. But anyway, just thought you might want to see that. Okay, we're in a particular area that I just wanted to take a moment and just kind of give you a little bit of background. It's a little interesting, but I've done, as I mentioned just a moment ago, some work previously for this client earlier this year during more what I would call the rainy season of Oklahoma. And we had our share of rain that week that we were out here. And what we're working in is called sandy loam. And again, I don't know if you can see this very well, but it's almost like the sand that you find at a beach in some respects. And when it's dry, it's really no big deal to work in at all, but when it's wet, it becomes very in places treacherous in terms of getting stuck. In fact, I got stuck twice out here, and while I was working, and the client was gracious enough to help me with the winch, and anyway, we got it out. But there was some other work that required a dozer, and I have a friend that does some dozer work for me as needed. And this particular area is the remnants of where he got his dozer stuck in this same material right here. Right now it's hard as a rock, but just a few months ago it was very, very different because of the rain. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. It's kind of interesting, but we're getting very close to the first point that we're going to start this morning to begin cutting our trails in for the client. So let's keep going. Okay, so we've arrived at our first point today at which we're going to start cutting in the trails at the client's request. And the client has been gracious enough to flag the trail for us, and I greatly appreciate that. You can kind of see he's literally walked through here and flagged the path that he'd like me to follow, and that makes it a whole lot easier for me, and appreciate him doing that. So looking forward to getting started. So let's do it. that the client wants me to put the trail through, and so I've been kind of picking my path. And again, the camera never really picks up the grade so much, but it goes down this way. There's a little small creek bottom that's dry right now, and then it's going to go up the hillside located on the other side of that ravine, and will connect to a road that's just sitting right up at the top of the hill there. So it's just going to kind of come through here, and I'm just going to cut a little bit way through here and get her done. I just kind of walked this little area that we just cut through this ravine, just so that you can see. Again, I don't know that the camera will pick up the angle so much, but it was fine pretty much right through here. And then we just had ourselves a little drop off. Again, had this sandy loam been wet, there'd have been no way I probably would have been able to make it up this hillside. And we hopped this this very little creek bed. Again, this is not much. Hopped over this and then made our way back up this other side. So I think the client should be happy, and we'll move on to the next. take a minute here to show you something. I have the ability to mulch hardwoods up to about 8 inches in diameter all the way down to the ground. Of course, I don't leave stumps. But I can take trees down that are probably as much as 20 or so inches in diameter using the same mulcher head. I can't mulch them completely, they're just too big, but I can cut them down, and I have that right here. You can see that the client has put a ribbon around the tree that he wants removed. And this one, I'm going to say in terms of its diameter, is probably, let's say 16 to maybe 18 inches in diameter. There's my hand up against it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I will take this tree down, and we'll clean up the limbs and so forth just to give it a smaller profile, and then we'll kind of continue on. You can see he's got some others that he wants taken out, and they're considerably smaller, relatively speaking. But anyway, let me kind of give you this perspective. I'm going to try to take this tree and drop it kind of right in this area here where the skid steer here is at the moment. Well, so let's see how this goes. Up day number 1 out here in Salem, Oklahoma, and right now it's probably 100 degrees or a little more, and that always makes for an interesting day. But nevertheless, it's been a good, productive day. We've cut in a lot of trails, probably somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 feet today alone, and allowing the client to have a lot more access to their property. But we're not done yet. We'll be back here tomorrow to carry on. Till then, have a blessed day. Well, good morning and welcome back. It's day number 2 out here in Salem, Oklahoma, and we have a lot more trails to continue to work on this morning. So far, it's starting out to be an absolutely beautiful day. It's about 73 degrees, but I think the high for today is over 100. In fact, for the next, I don't know, week and a half, looks like it's going to be in the hundreds. So welcome to Oklahoma summer. Anyway, looking forward to having y'all come join us. Let's get started. Okay, so we've arrived at the point at which we're going to start this morning. And again, I really appreciate this. The customer has flagged. I don't know if you can see those flags, but I just am simply following his markers to build the trails that he would like to have. So we're going to do that. Okay, so we've reached a area where the client has flagged the trail that is going to be a little precarious with regards to how this area is shaped. It's kind of like a bowl, and as you go up it, not that the incline is such a big deal, but it immediately drops off down into this creek bottom area. So there's a really good slope, and obviously with the skid steer you never want to get it tilted too far over. That'd be a bad thing. So I think, and then the trail actually continues right on through there. In fact, this looks like a deer trail. I can see why he's got this flag. But anyway, so I think what I'm going to attempt to do is come up through here, and then I'm going to turn it and just go up this little rise right here, and then I'll be on level ground, and then I can kind of continue on with the trail. That's at least my thinking. Let's see if we can. That didn't take very long. What started to happen was, as I got further into this bowl-shaped area, the slope began to try and kick off the tracks on the skid steer. And if I would have pushed it, I would have reached the top, but the track would have then no longer been in the rollers correctly, and that would be a whole nother bigger problem. So then what I attempted to do is try to go up this slope right here, but the incline is so steep, and again this sandy gnome that I was talking about, it's just coming out from underneath the tracks, and I'm not getting enough traction to go up this hill. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to go all the way around where this trail is supposed to pop out at, and I'll start there and work my way back to this location right here. And then I think I should be able to clean things up enough so that he'll be able to get his side-by-side through here. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll see how. Okay, so as I mentioned, I ended up going around and coming back to this spot. Down there is where I was trying to get up this draw right here. I tried to come up this incline. Again, it was just too steep and not enough traction to get me up it. So I came back around and cut my way back to this point, and you can kind of see, you know, there's the trail right there. So I'll finish cleaning this up enough so that the client can get his side-by-side through here, but that should work pretty well. So sometimes you just gotta figure things out. to take you down a small portion of one of the trails that knocked out today. I can show them all to you, but it would make for a much longer video, and I think what I'll show you, you'll get the point. So, but I just wanted to just quickly kind of give you an idea. So I'm just going to kind of walk down here, and again, everything that you see down in here was pretty much like that or like that, and the client has created these trails in such a way that in some areas they intersect, which is kind of neat. And we're just making our way down this one trail right here. And I know the deer are going to love these trails. They're pretty much like us in the sense that there's no pressure. They're going to take the path of least resistance. So, but anyway, this is one of those areas that where it somewhat intersects. So the trail continues on down that way, and it continues on down that way over there. And that's the area that we just walked down. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today. Again, it's kind of neat to be able to gain more access to your land through the use of these trails and so forth. And they're great for four-wheeling and just kind of a casual stroll. So anyway, thank you again for watching today. I greatly appreciate it. Have a blessed day.